Alright, so let's pop in and take a look at some of my favorite products. I have a TV stand here, and basically it has two drawers. The drawer over here on the right I basically use as a junk drawer for old paper, and then I store all of my favorite supplies in this drawer over here. So as you can see, it's pretty much packed to the brim. I've used these wicker baskets to kind of help sort out some of the different stationery supplies, and then I really just stack a lot of stuff too. So sometimes it's a little inconvenient to get to stuff that's like at the bottom of the stack, so usually that's like full packs or refill packs that I don't expect to use for a while. So yeah, first we'll take a look at the pens. Here are some of the pens that I really like, as well as the 100th anniversary ink by, and that's the Daikokuten, and that's by Pilot, of course. They released it with their pens, the Seven Gods of Good Fortune. I really like the yellow ink, so I purchased a full bottle of this one, and it looks really nice when you do any type of embellishment or flex calligraphy. So it's just a yellow that's really not on the market. And then of course I have my personalized wax stamp, and it just has my initials and a tree. Almost all the letters that I send get stamped with this particular wax stamp. And then I just have some of these pens down here too. So every calligrapher should have a Pilot Parallel. And then this one is the 3.8 millimeters. A lot of italics calligraphy I do with this particular pen. They're cheap, about $10, and generally you can dip them into other inks and then start writing with them, or you can buy these refill packs that you see here, black and color. But they're nice because you can actually mix inks, and then you get a really unique look. And then another kind of calligraphy pen that I have is this Lamy, and it's not a super wide nib, but for smaller kind of italics work I tend to use this one. And then just some of my favorite pens that I have here. We won't go through all of them, and this isn't all of them, but some of the ones I use the most often is this guy here. This is the Pilot, or excuse me, this is the Platinum Century 3776, and I got this in ultra extra fine. It's a fantastic nib and probably the finest nib that I own. And then of course I've made a video on it before, the Justus, the Pilot Justus. It's really awesome because it has that adjustable flexibility nib, which I really like. And then of course my new Spencerian regrind on the Custom 912, which is a fantastic pen, great for Spencerian penmanship. And then just of course an assortment of other pens that are in there as well. So yeah, that's a close look at some of the pens that I have. And then I tend to keep a lot of my inks up here towards the front. So I've got the different inks that have the coloring to them, or the sparkles to them. I have it in the black. Unfortunately, this wax seal broke. And then I have it in the blue, the emerald, and the brown. I really like the brown and the emerald the most, probably. So I tend to use those most often. And then you'll see on the back they have this shimmer, and you kind of have to shake it up. I have mixed feelings about these inks because they kind of clog, they can clog up your fountain pens. And so if you put them in there, you really do have to wash them out and not just kind of leave them hanging there for a while. And then over here, I've got a nice bottle of Aurora Black, probably one of the most saturated blacks. I really like this ink, and if you want a very dark saturated black, that's really what you should look for. My favorite inks are the Iroshizuku by Pilot though, so I've got a couple of these smaller sample bottles too, in a blue, and then I also have it in a gray. My everyday ink is of course the bamboo charcoal by Iroshizuku. Now I also have another basket with just some miscellaneous washi tapes, just kind of cool looking designs that I saw. A lot of these I bought from Jet Pens, but some of them I bought from a local store here in Portland called Oblation. Yeah, so you can kind of use washi tape for all kinds of different things. Decorating envelopes, sealing bags. Really the ideas are kind of endless. So, and then of course I have this tool. This is the Tombow Mono Adhesive, and it's essentially a roll-on double-sided tape. I love this thing. It has come in handy so many times. Its uses are really quite endless. A lot of times I use this to seal envelopes if they don't have the adhesive already on there. But I'll use this to put pages in journals or whatever. Really, just I use this almost every day. And then, of course, the ink blotter, which is really kind of important for any type of flex calligraphy because you really can make quite a bit of a mess if you run your hands over wet ink. So I use that almost every day too. A really nice pencil sharpener that I like is the Blackwing, Palomino Blackwing pencil sharpener. It really does make a fantastic fine point out of your pencils. And of course my favorite pencils are the Blackwing pencils. I've got a couple of these Fine Tech watercolor ink refills here. You can dissolve these in just a bottle of water in a small jar, put a lid on it, and then you can use it whenever you need. But I kind of just use them whenever I'm in need of that color. So yeah, and then some miscellaneous strings that I use to like tie envelopes or just do something kind of cool and creative with. Then over here I've got these cool little note cards. I like to leave little notes. They're by E. Francis. They're called Little Notes. They come in a ton of different artistic designs. I've seen pencils and unicorns and panda bears and apples and whales, and so whenever I just want to leave a cool note for somebody, I'll just write it on this. My favorite sealing wax is the J. Herbin, and it really is no contest between some of the other ones. The kind of knockoff wax, in my opinion, or the wax that has wicks already built in, I can't stand them. They leave all kinds of like burn marks in the wax and it doesn't look good. The color and the saturation of the color is not that great, but this brand is fantastic. This is the copper colored ink, or copper colored wax, and that's what I use with my wax seal. And then of course I've got this giant case of nibs, an assortment of nibs. It's mostly Leonardt nibs in here. I put those in I keep those in individual packs because and maybe it's unnecessary, but I don't want to dull the edges by having them run into other nibs. And then just some other assorted calligraphy nibs too, with different sizes. Speedball, I've got the Browse Rose in here, which I do not personally like, but it did come with this really cool case, so I gave it a shot, but I definitely do not use it because it does not work very well. Really nice and flexible, but just really not up to my the standards that I like in a nib. And then here I just have some of the replacement paper for the blotting paper, J. Herbin. I got this at my local store here in town. Probably some of my favorite envelopes are the Midori envelopes. They come with what I like about them is that you can write with fountain pen and flex nib on them, and they take it very nicely. There's very minimal feathering, but they also come with the adhesive, so you can seal the adhesive and then put a wax stamp on it. The comparable Pilot Pilot envelopes do not have that same adhesive on the back, so you either have to put one of your own or just use the wax seal. And then I have an assortment of pencils back here. Again, my favorite are the Palomino collection. So I have the new one that just came out, the glow-in-the-dark version, which is a really cool pencil. I think I might have snagged the last 2 boxes of this in Portland at our local Powell's bookstore. But yeah, these things are selling like hotcakes. I really think they're a cool pencil too. This is the Steinbeck Blackwing edition. It was black on black on black with a new extra dark graphite that they used as well. Probably one of my other favorite ones. It comes to a very nice sharp point. This one was the Mars edition that I really liked as well. And then just the general collection, not the volumes. This is the new one, the natural that they just came out with. That's part of their new permanent collection. And then down in here I have some more, just a random stamp. You can use this with a wax stamp to add some extra color. And then another set of Fine Tech watercolor inks, which are really cool too. And then, of course, I have the, this is some custom-made paper by a local store, Oblation. It's seeded, so you can actually plant this, and you can grow plants after you make it, or after you send it to somebody. They can pop it in the ground and grow some plants. Some of my writing supplies, I really have found that I like the Life brand and the Midori brand quite a bit. Their paper quality is fantastic. This is their Noble Memo, which is just plain and unlined, a little memo pad in a soft ivory color. And then I actually really like this guy. This is the Midori, the 3-year diary. It kind of really got me into making sure to write a little bit of something every single day. And I really like the fact that it allows you to essentially write, you come back, you pick a date, and then so the top line you would do your current year, and then as you go through the book you come back to the next year, so that would be 2020, but you get to see what you wrote before, the year before, and you do that for 3 years. So I really like this. The paper holds up. It's got these cool little designs in the corners for the different months. So very cool product. They also come out with, they also have a 5-year, and I believe there might be a 10-year as well. This is just a general kind of scratch paper that I use for writing, whatever. This is a Life, the writing bank paper, very nice for any type of flex calligraphy. Just a general Rhodia dot pad. Also I have the Tomoe River. This is the extra fine paper, very thin, but it can also hold up to fountain pens, which I really like. My new favorite stuff are these miniature Midori notebooks. Very slim. I bought a couple of them just to write in for a bunch of different things, a bunch of different subjects, whatever I wanted to use them for. And then this is actually what I put them in. It's the paper cover, the Midori paper cover, and you can fit 2 of them in there if you want. And so this is just like cool words that I'm writing down that I really like, that I want to try and use more often. These came from a book that I'm reading. So yeah, if you're looking for a cool way to store those small notebooks, 2 of them can fit into one of those sleeves. This is probably one of my favorite notebook covers. It's the Midori goat skin, goat leather binder. I love this thing. It is absolutely fantastic. It's incredibly soft and supple, and the color changes over time. So it may look pink when you buy it. It does not stay pink. So I'm not sure if the lighting will really accommodate this, but if you see this outside and then you open it up, see how much lighter that is? That's just changed over the course of a week of owning it. So big differences. It turns to this really nice camel. And then of course just some decorative letter paper, some Midori, some more Midori, mostly Midori, their letterpress paper, and then their MD cotton paper, and then one of my favorites was this, which is the pad for I think it's like writing beautiful letters or fountain pens, and I got this on jet pens. And then just some refill life paper, and then some Marumen B5 paper. So alright you guys, that is a quick look at some of my favorite supplies. If you guys use any of these or have any suggestions of things that I should buy that you really like, please let me know. I'm always open to some new ideas. So alright, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.